Hey guys, I'm back and still not quite 100%, but rolling right along. Look what we've got. We've got Monthly Knife Club, and thank you to the U.S. Postal Service for having us lost in the system for a few days. You know what I love? When you track something and it's supposed to arrive and then it just doesn't, and then the only update they give you is in transit arriving late, like with no whatever. Yeah, gotta love USPS. But it's here. The box looks intact. It's awesome. Got stuff in it. So let's take a look at Monthly Knife Club Onyx Collector's Box for November 2020. Okay. Oh, we got a twofer. I love when we get the twofer. Yay. So we got a Boker, which is cool. Boker Plus. Always something good. And then Maxpedition. So Monthly Knife Club. And this is, again, the Onyx package. I'll give you the spiel like I always do. One of my favorite subscriptions. They have so many different options to choose from at all different price levels. This is not the most expensive monthly box they have, and it's certainly not the cheapest. Or I should say least expensive, you know, not using cheap as a way to describe it. Not like cheap stuff. They have the Ultimate, which is I think like $250 a month, where you get a knife or two and then some other gear and accessories and all that stuff. They have the name brand subscription, which is guaranteed to give you something from a company you have heard of. You know, a Kershaw, a CRKT, just two thrown it out there for example. Not necessarily the highest end stuff, but no garbage brand, you know, tactical tech force, you know, from some crazy production line in China, for example. And they've got, I mean, all sorts of stuff. They have just all sorts of stuff that you should check out. The link in the video description. And the reason I like this so much is because they really do, they put some good stuff in the boxes. And I've discovered a lot of cool stuff. So the Onyx Collector's Plan is what I like because the box is $119 plus shipping and handling, right, every month. I have never not gotten my money's worth, literally dollar for dollar. But just it's always guaranteed to be a higher end kind of knife, and sometimes, like this month, you get two. About I'd say maybe not half the time, but probably 30 to 40% of the time, you get two items in the box instead of one, which is really cool. We've gotten some really cool stuff. So I really love the Onyx Collector's Plan, and people often ask me, what's a good box just for blades? And I say, you know, if you want just quantity, there's plenty of subscriptions that'll just send you a bunch of crap. If you want to build, if you're looking for pieces for your collection that are, you know, adding good quality pieces a little at a time, this is a great way to go. It looks like we have the Boker CFMA1, and that's what's in this box. And we have the Excelsa from Maxpedition. Another thing they do, which is awesome, by the way, when I show you this card, you're going to see the value on the internet. Now, everybody's entitled to put stuff on sale now and then, but there's always a MAP price, the minimal accepted pricing or authorized price or whatever, that if you're a dealer and you're selling, that's the lowest price you can sell. These guys look all over the internet, and they tell you exactly, you know what, and I'll just show you now. So here are the specs of the knives this month. They don't just tell you an MSRP value and say, yeah, this is the value like some other people do. They tell you if you look on the internet, you're going to find this knife for anywhere from here to here, depending on where you look, and this knife from here to here. So when they tell you the total value, they're telling you, look on the internet, this is the value of this box, anywhere from $169.90 to $284.99, which is cool. And I really respect that. And there are some people that are what we call MAP violators that violate that term of the contract. There are some times where you put, you know, there could be a sale. You know, you're allowed to do a temporary sale on an item and sell it for lower. But these are the lowest prices that you're going to find it for, which is really cool. So you might find one of these knives from Monthly Knife Club now and then for a little bit lower than what we see in the video here, but I can almost guarantee you that's either a MAP violation or just a temporary sale price. So because we've never seen, I should say, I've never seen anything from Maxpedition before, let's look at the Excelsa frame lock knife made in Taiwan. Taiwan is the good China. I'm very curious. Ooh, not happy with that squeak. That's kind of cool. They didn't really leave you any way to get it out of the box. You know, a little hole for you to dig it out. That's interesting. Ugh, come on. Okay, here we go. So according to this, what do we have? Titanium. Nice. 6AL4V titanium frame lock with a D2 blade. I have not seen this anywhere before. You got some branding going on over there. Looks like the clip is replaceable, movable, tip up, tip down, right hand only, so about half the amount of soup. Very thin blade there. That's like Sebenza thin right there, but perfectly centered. So I guess looking at this, if you were a lefty, you could swap the thumb stud to the other side. Interesting. I like the weight on it. For its size, the weight is good. Nice bead blast on the titanium. Looks pretty cool. Love the grind lines. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know I'm a sucker for a nice satin finish and good grind lines. Those are really nice looking. Full flat grind on the blade. It has a very, if you've never held a Sebenza before, Chris Reeve Sebenza, number one, sorry to rub it in, but you need to get your hands on one. But it feels like the spine of a Sebenza, which is a really nicely finished knife. And full flat grind makes this a very nice slicer. In D2, the D2 is, oh, here we go again, every time. D2 is a very good steel, especially for hard use. I don't know if it's the greatest EDC steel out there, but I like it as a hard use steel very much. Now this size is it's less than a 3-inch blade, which makes it legal, I think, just about everywhere. There are some other factors that might make this illegal in some places, like a locking blade. Speaking of lock, nice solid lockup. Small frame locks and big hands can sometimes equal that problem where you're trying to open the knife, but you end up with fingers pressing on the lock bar, pushing that detent ball into the knife, into the blade rather, and holding it in place. So that might be an issue, just getting the right hand placement for this. And that, I think, is why the blade kind of stutters a little bit when it comes out when I'm holding it. If I'm not holding it that way, if I make sure my fingers are off that, it's just hard. It's a hard knife to have big hands with because that's where my fingers go. I wonder if I move the clip, if that will help. From that point on, very easy to use. Just that right there. See where my fingers go to the clip instead of falling onto the lock bar. Which gives a really nice snap out, really nice action. I probably want to add a little bit of lube to that pivot. It doesn't have the feeling of bearings. I think there are 2 small bronze washers in there. Definitely not, doesn't feel like a bearing type knife. But for a small EDC, especially like I said, you know, legal area issues in places where your blade size is limited, it's a really nice little look to it. Very simple. It's not going to scare the muggles when you take it out and start doing stuff with it. I can definitely get behind this thing. Check this out. Blade could use, I mean, the edge could use just a little tiny bit of refining. I think this is another one of those where few passes on a strop can make a huge difference in it. It's sharp, but I definitely think a little bit of stropping will make all the difference in the world on this and set it to near razor status. But I like this, and this is something that if I was worried about size, weight, stuff like that, I would definitely carry this. And I probably will carry it now and then. It's another knife that I gotta say, if Benchmade, for example, put this knife out, I'm sure it would be two and a half times the price that they sell it for, you know, anywhere else, just because it had that magic butterfly on it. Engineering looks great. You can't see it, maybe you can. It has a built-in lock travel overstop right over there, built in to the lock, so you're never gonna overstress your lock and bend this bar out and mess with your lockup, which is cool. It's a nice little knife. Nice little EDC. I don't know if it fits into the gentleman's carry kind of category, but it could. Definitely could. Let's take a look at the lockup again. And I don't think we had any travel. Any stick? No stick. No problems. Oops, no, I didn't check. No play. And we are still dead centered. Nice. So item number 1 in the box, that's a pretty nice knife. And this is, I'm going to use this as another example. I say sometimes it's the value of these subscription boxes is not just dollar for dollar. Sometimes it's discovering a new company, discovering an item you ordinarily would not have stumbled upon. And this is a great example. So, and I should probably not drop it. So we're going to put that over there. We're going to get to the Boker. My little sticker's coming off. So let's see. The Boker CFM-A1. It's an Urbanovsky design, which is pretty. He's a pretty good designer. So we've got the standard Boker thing. I like the looks of that already. Look at that. It's got some nice. It's you know, artistic, but also that's going to provide you some good traction on there. Whoa! Look at that. I like the weight on this. That clip is not going anywhere though. By the way, you are stuck with it where it goes. Again, dead center. Nice. Like the width of the blade. No liner, just scale G10, and then steel. And this one has the Hinderer style lock stop. I like the flow through design. Fit and finish on this is great because there's not a lot for them to screw up. There's a few frame screws. There's a pivot. It's the kind of pivot with the flow through design, which I think is a pretty nifty little thing there. We've got a flipper with no jimping on it whatsoever, so I don't know how that's going to work for push button flipping. Now, just to illustrate again, big hands, right? Don't have the long clip, but because of the shape of it, fingers don't naturally gravitate to that lock bar to mess with it, so it's okay. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. That is a very nice shape. Gorgeous stonewash on there. Very comfortable handle. Actually little slim in height a little bit, but I think if you had gloves on, it would be absolutely perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. Got our maker's mark there, the Sandvik steel mark, and 0750. I don't know, is this a model number or are these serialized? I don't know. I don't think this is something that would be serialized, but we can check that out. And you've got a little bit of a tumble finish on the handle as well. This is just, I mean, a really nice looking slicing and almost a chopping kind of blade. With, 14 C28N, you're not likely to chip it too bad with a little bit of chopping. It's not brittle as some others. I don't know how well that edge would hold up against rolling, for example, but with the size and weight of this thing, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to try. Oh, that is beautiful. That's my fault right there, but I just caught that in a weird way. Actually, just to show you though, look at that. It actually ended up peeling off the surface of the paper because I caught it in a weird angle, but it actually shaved the paper. This feels great. This is something I want to carry. This might scare the non-knife people, and I know it's not something we're all worried about. Some people just say, good, screw them. By the way, great jimping up there where your thumb would rest on the spine. But sometimes it's a consideration you do need to take into account whether you want to or not. If you work in an environment where you're around people that might get nervous and stuff or whatever, it's a factor some people want to take into consideration. So here's your light switch flip. Great. This may be on bearings, it may not. I don't know right now. Yep, it says bearings. It says bearings in the information. Push button. Yeah, it works, but just barely in it. It puts a lot of stress on your finger because you gotta hit that little angled part right there. So this really is not designed for the push button flip. Here's your lockup again, so we can do the lockup test. Looks pretty good. I feel like I was going to damage the surface there. No travel there. No stick. Still looks pretty centered. No play. What a cool knife. Oh, absolutely want to carry this around. This is very nice. I like them both, but me being a slightly larger hand person, you know, if I had to pick one for which one I would EDC, I'm going to lean towards the bigger knife because it just feels a little bit better in my hand. If you've got smaller hands, or again, you're in a situation where a smaller knife is advantageous to you or required, this is a great choice. I like them both. I really like them both. This one, great canvas for some custom work. This one, maybe custom scales, but this being steel and not titanium, I wouldn't want to blowtorch it or anything else. We could Cerakote it. We could take care of that, but very, very nice. So, another cool month from Monthly Knife Club and the Onyx plan. Two great knives. One I've never heard of, never seen before, and another real winner from Boker Plus, who has really stepped up their game, by the way. Boker Plus used to have some real cheesy stuff, cheap stuff with the Boker name on it, and they have really increased the value and the product that they give you. So, what do you guys think? Anybody have a particular favorite here? I can imagine this anodized in bronze. That would look really nice, by the way. I'm just looking at it now. So, favorite, thoughts, anything like that, please feel free to share. Like I said, I'm going to put the info for Monthly Knife Club in the video description so you can check it out if you want. Now, the question is, which one of these am I going to carry first? All right, I'm really curious to see what you guys think of the Maxpedition knife. If anybody has carried a Maxpedition knife, I didn't know they made this stuff. I thought they were all gear and bags and pouches and stuff like that. So, in any case, remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will be back again real soon.